So this is where this move started becoming our reality. This is where we fully understood that we are definitely leaving New York City. And now we are taking steps. We finally started taking steps towards what God had asked us from the beginning. When God gives instructions, He's not asking you to try to figure it out. He's not asking you to try to plan it out or strategize it or try to figure it out. He's not asking you these things. All He's asking you is to take steps towards what He asked you to do. And as you take steps, things are going to start to unfold. And that's what started happening to us. So as we applied to the company for housing, things started really showing that God was up to something. Because the one thing that stood out to us when we applied, they had this promotion going on where they were saying if you move in, that they were literally revoking the deposit. We did not have to give them a deposit. And God provided money for every single thing, but He never provided any kind of finances to give any kind of deposit. Like, in New York City, you need to give like 2 months deposit or sometimes 3 months deposit. They were not asking for that. We entered into a luxurious apartment without a deposit and without a job letter. The only thing that they required of us was our tax return from New York City. And we were not working in New York City, and they asked for our rent history. And in the midst of us not working for months, we were never late in paying rent from 2016 to 2021. We were never late on rent. Never. That's the grace of God. It was not us doing anything, but it was God enabling us to have a clean slate, because He knew later down the line we would be needing that thing. And even when we didn't have jobs, God still provided us and enabled us to pay rent. And we had a great relationship with our landlord. So that all these things played in our favor. So things were going, we started applying, and we knew that there was an open window. I just kept repeating over and over, there's an open window and we need to act within that open window. I kept feeling it. I kept saying it. And even when I spoke to my former bishop, he said the same thing to me. He was asking me questions like, what is the Lord saying? Do you know what time? Do you know when is the move? He was asking me specific questions that I thought I didn't know. I thought I did not understand. But in reality, I did. So when he started asking me those questions, I already had the answer, because the Lord was already revealing things to me. But because there was fear, because in my mind, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how we're going to make it, because there was this, it was a spiritual attack to blindside me. I kept feeling like I didn't know. I didn't know exactly what it is. And that's for somebody out there. As a Christian life coach, my job is to help women identify what God is saying with clarity. It's not me giving the answers, but as God leads and enables me to ask the right questions, these women answer the questions that they thought they never knew. But it's just that they couldn't see it. So me at the time, God used my former bishop, which I still consider him as my bishop, because he's just been, God has used him tremendously in our lives. But I'm just saying that I knew. So I knew there was an open heaven, and he was telling me there was an open heaven and there's a time for him to move, because God is now speaking, and he's speaking loud and clear, and he was just confirming things. So as we started looking into things, we had great help. The people, we felt it was so different. The way they dealt with us, it was so different. It felt like you were communicating with a human being and not somebody just from corporate about money. It was people who literally cared about you, who literally understood your move from New York to Texas. It could be something frustrating, and they did everything for you, right? Everything for you, everything to make your move easy and to make your move a success. So as we were looking, I got impatient because they said in the next 2 weeks we'll get a response, and we're waiting for the response to come, to know that we have a place to live before one, we tell our family members, we tell our friends, because we are like, okay, we're not saying anything. Like in this moment, I just felt you have to lay low in this moment. Nothing to disrupt, nothing to distract. I did not want to hear the negativity of people, but why Texas, and why y'all moving, and why y'all cannot go. I did not want to hear that. My husband did not want to hear that. So we did not want to say anything until God had paved the way and everything was sure and secured, right? And the next 2 weeks we're waiting, but then there was a delay. Like it was taking time, and I picked up my phone to call. I'm like, Lord, they said by this time we're going to have a response. It was the Thursday, and I want to call. And as I pick up my phone to call the people for housing, the Lord says, do not call. And I said, but Lord, they said they were supposed to give me an answer like from the beginning of the week. It's Thursday. He said, do not call. And I was like, all right, I will not call. And I put my phone down. The Friday, we're out on the road. But even before that, let me just backtrack a little. Even before the Friday, when we were out on the road, I kept seeing the word approve everywhere we went. And it was so weird. Like the places like my eyes would fall upon to see the word approve on buildings that are so tall. At the top of the building, there is this little plaque says approve. I would see that. There was this particular utility van that I kept seeing the word approve, like in bold, approve. And I'm like, God, if you're talking to me and telling me that the apartment has already been approved, let me see it again. And when he showed it to me again, like right after I said this, I said it to my husband, and then my husband started seeing it. And then I was like, okay, God. But the day we got the approval for the apartment, we were again at a stoplight. And I don't want to prolong this video, so I will continue this part tomorrow.